And well, in just 24 hours from now, the NRG Stadium will be filled with over 50,000 people. Niranjan is joining us live on this broadcast as he's been sending us all these reports. And Niranjan, what really is happening? Because this is really the last leg of the preparations are picking up in full swing.
Well, that's correct. And good morning from Houston, Suesha. And the final leg of preparations are on, like you said. And the demonstrations, the dry run, and the final dress rehearsal for the Howdy Modi event is on at the NRG Stadium, where we were live from this morning. And right now, I'm moving towards the Houston City Hall, which is the office of the Mayor of Houston, who is also a friend of the Indian American community, someone who wants the relationship between India and America to go to greater heights. So he's a very influential man here in Houston. The mayor makes all the key appointments, and he's in charge of a lot of decision making as far as the Indian American community is concerned. So he will be live with us. And if my video journalist Abhay, I'm not sure whether he can turn his camera around and give you a bird's eye view of the stadium, but that is a stadium that you can see there, the NRG Stadium in all its glory. That's one of the largest football stadiums here in America. The first one which with a retractable roof and home to the Houston Texans, a football team, of an American football team based here in Houston. So we are headed to the City Hall, and we will be speaking to the Mayor of Houston. And all of last evening, we've spent our time meeting different people from the community, the organizers. We were inside the NRG Stadium, and we were at an event, a community event here in Houston, where there were thousands of Indians. We met roughly 6,000 Indians. And imagine in two events that I was a part of yesterday, where I just went to meet people and speak to them. We met about 6,000 people. That's 6,000 Indian Americans here. All of them, of course, are now Americans, but they are proud of the tricolor. And this is what binds them, the tricolor and the idea of India. And they love everything Indian. And for a moment yesterday, in fact, when I was live with them, it felt like I was, still in Mumbai or back in India. Except that, they celebrate and everything is Indian for them, and everything is India except for the fact that they're living out of Houston, working here with their families. Most of them have spent decades together. Most of them have, interestingly, some of them haven't even been back to India. And, they've never been to India, and it's everything that they read of India, everything that they know of, they hear from their friends and family who's out of here is what keeps them together and rooted to their motherland. But it's beautiful because the colors of India, the excitement and the build-up to the Howdy Modi event. We've been live from inside the NRG Stadium. We spoke to the organizers as well. It's not an easy effort. Let me tell you, it's not an easy effort here in Houston to organize an event of this scale, to have 50,000 people under one roof in an American football stadium, and have all of them come from different parts of America. One interesting fact that we picked up yesterday: there were people traveling from every state in the U.S. That's 50 states, and all of them are coming in. And there are people that I spoke to yesterday who are traveling from halfway across the world, from Singapore. It's not a short journey here to Singapore, and I think we just headed to the Houston City Hall now, and we are going to meet the mayor of Houston. And just to give you a glimpse of what you can expect tomorrow, there will be 400 performers inside the stadium behind me, and there will be 27 groups who will be performing. In fact, in a short while from now, we'll speak to some of them because we're getting an exclusive entry into the backstage. We will go backstage. We will speak to some of them. We will tell you what it's like to be performing in front of 50,000 people. And Suesha, for me, it reminds me also of another big event that I covered of the Prime Minister. And this was about 4 years ago. and this was at Wembley, the Wembley Stadium in London. Another football stadium once again, but that's football. That's what you call football, and they call soccer here in America. And there again, there were in excess of 30,000 people. The full stadium here can seat about 70,000, but tomorrow there will be only 50,000 because a part of the stadium will have to be cut off, and they can't have full capacity. But when there's full capacity, 80,000 people can sit. You don't know where it goes from here, because it's interesting for a journalist to understand, what goes into making of such an event. I spoke to the main organizer, in fact, yesterday, who was live on Republic TV, the chief of the Texas India chair, and he was telling us it's not easy to host such an event. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of approvals, and a lot of hard work, because the sheer number of people involved in an event like this is over 2,000 or 3,000. And they're all volunteers, most of them with full-time jobs here. And, for the last 2 months, they've been planning. They had an idea, they pitched the idea, and they got a time from the Prime Minister, and that's where it all began. And it's taken them 2 months to put all of this together and convince lawmakers, and I think a lot of lawmakers wanted to be a part of the event, and 60 U.S. lawmakers will be here. The U.S. President will be here. The U.S. President, Donald Trump, also knows how important this is for him and for his country. In pure terms of investment, because that's what America wants. It wants India to invest in America, more money to come in, and also mutually for India, we of course want to make investments in energy sector. We want to make investments in key healthcare sectors and learn from the best in the world. And that's something that the Prime Minister will be looking forward to, taking this relationship to greater heights. But that's the NRG Stadium behind me, where all of the action will unfold starting 5 a.m. Here in Houston. And let me also tell you that as far as the key meetings with the Prime Minister is concerned, today when he lands, his first engagement is at the Energy Summit. There will be head of industries here in Houston, energy leaders from these are industry leaders, and they will be looking forward to shaking hands with India and ensuring that some more investment comes in. For India, it's simple. We want investment as well. And I've heard from different organizers that there will be defense giants as well who are keen on meeting the Prime Minister. When I say defense giants, I'm talking about the likes of Halliburton and Bell, which have their headquarters here in Houston and in Texas. So we here are keen on meeting the Prime Minister, because India is investing heavily also in the defense sector, you also heard what the governor of Texas had to say to Republic some time back. That was Greg Abbott, and Greg Abbott, of course, met the Prime Minister a few months back. Imagine for a governor of Texas who visited India recently, met the Prime Minister, and that's key also because of the investments that India has made in Texas alone. And in this city of Houston alone, $7 billion worth of investment. That's the kind of money we are talking about. If you talk about the relationship, it's a special one, and it's all about development and what you can do together as one alliance between India and America. I'm going to lead into the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, who spoke to Republic TV this morning.
Hi, this is Governor Greg Abbott. I am so proud to join my fellow Texans in welcoming Prime Minister Modi to our great state. You know, there is a strong and an enduring bond between India, Texas, and the Indian American community. It is a bond that is rooted in our shared values, our cultural ties, and our strong economic partnership. Mr. Prime Minister, it was an honor to meet with you in New Delhi last year. We had the opportunity to discuss ways that Texas and India can continue to work together toward an even brighter future. And I want you to know, on behalf of the entire state of Texas, we say welcome to you. Please enjoy your visit to the Lone Star State, and please return again.